Presidential Diary, Stardate 61823.7. As I prepare to make...
Please restate request.
Record Presidential Diary. Presidential Diary, Stardate 61823.7. As we...
Library computer systems are offline.
Alice!
Yes, Madam President?
The computer will not record my diary entry.
Engineering hasn't finished the LCAR's upgrades just yet, ma'am.
Upgrades?
The new computer upgrades that Chief Engineer Campbell had arranged for? He's got someone from the Daystrom Institute working down there with him.
Have them to make it a priority. Next thing you'll tell me is the replicators are offline.
I'll get you a cup of tea. And Mr. Ensi is waiting to see you.
Tam owes me an explanation for his latest blunder. Send him in.
Madam President, I want to reiterate that this was an honest mistake. I just thought...
Don't listen to the voices in your head, Tam. Listen only to mine.
Yes, of course.
Your tea, Madam President.
Thank you, Alice. That is all. Refreshing. Now, Tam, when do they arrive?
They're in the waiting area now.
I don't have time for distractions.
They leave in 2 days. They know you aren't thrilled with the idea of entertaining them as guests.
Send them in. But return in 5 minutes to escort them out. You can give them a tour of the ship.
Right. Of course. Excuse me.
There weren't this many people trying to see the president at Kituna.
Here they are, Madam President.
Aunt Karah!
Young Victorina, you...
Looks like you haven't hugged anyone in years, sis.
I am President Vindenpawl, Victorina.
Mr. Ensi, did you know that President Vindenpawl once ate an entire povar pie just to get sick and avoid a date with Joven Bolanos?
Is that true?
Yes. Well, I'm quite distracted now.
Hidden Frontier Productions presents Federation 1, starring Wayne Webb as Matt McCabe, Rebecca Wood as President Vindenpawl, Jacques Freydont as Kaart, Aaron Leddick as Tam Ensi, Barbara Clifford as Margaret Magowan, David O'Neill as Admiral Selek, and Heather Ashley as Mara Anshel. Episode 202, Family. Written by Eric Weaver with Andrew Foster. Directed by Andrew Foster.
What's that?
A sculpture made by the president of Corridon himself. A gift. And rather delicate.
Oh, that reminds me. Your gift is in our quarters. I can go and get it and bring it right back.
You didn't have to bring a gift.
Are you kidding? You're the president. That's gift-worthy.
I picked it out.
Did you, Vreed? Thank you. However, I will be meeting with my advisors soon. I'm afraid I don't have much time to catch up.
When will we see you then? I have a lot of questions to ask you.
We've been asking her that since she was president of Vrijheid. Don't expect a good answer.
I will oblige your questions at dinner tonight. Acceptable?
Any excuse to wear another dress, right?
Will it be a state dinner?
Nonsense, child. Those are reserved for foreign dignitaries. I'm not scheduled to meet with the Romulans or the Klingons for weeks.
It's just us, Vit. We can show ourselves out, Madam President.
Diora...
It's fine. You weren't expecting us. We're interrupting you. Come, my heart. Let's check out the rest of the ship.
Can I still call you Aunt?
When we're in this office, it's Madam President.
Okay. Bye.
Mr. Kaart is here to see you, Madam President.
Send him in.
I wasn't sure if I should give you a few minutes alone or...
No. Let's get on with it. What did the Betazoids say?
Holograms have no souls. Education must have a soul.
Sounds more like something the Bajorans would say.
We've been hearing a similar sentiment for some time now. People are uncomfortable with the idea of holograms teaching their children.
They would rather their children not be taught at all. Illogical.
Which is why the Vulcan support is the best thing we have going for us. Our reform plan is... wobbly.
Wobbly? Being the political term for failing?
We won't fail, Madam President. I won't fail. I'll land this ship.
I sincerely hope it's the reform that hits the ground, and not Federation 1.
This is the Grand Ballroom, host to many diplomatic events and parties. Most recently, the informal ball that celebrated President Vindenpawl's swearing in.
Yeah, sorry we couldn't make it. Our invitation got lost over subspace. Seems like that happens a lot with this administration.
Like I said, it was informal, given the rather sudden and tragic mood at the time.
Still, it would have been nice.
Would you like to see it?
Can we?
Dear friends, we come together in a time of great mourning, and it is in our unity that we can venture on to greatness. To our allies and to all those whose diversity we embrace, I pledge my loyalty and devotion. United there is
Okay,
nothing
that's
we
enough.
cannot do.
Looks like it was quite the ball.
I've never been to a ball before. May I dance?
Fit.
Just for a moment. I want to imagine what it's like.
Do you mind?
Of course not. Don't forget to twirl.
I know.
She's not normally like this. Usually she's very reserved, writes down most of what she imagines. When on Risa, I guess.
Mrs. Klorsk?
Diora.
Whatever happened to Jovan Blanos?
Being stood up only made him try harder. His second mistake.
And the first was liking her?
Naturally. The person you're working for, well, it's no act. She's always been that way.
But has your relationship with her always been like this?
That is not worth discussing. Fit, that's enough.
Okay.
Where do you work, Mr. Ensi?
Right this way.
I hope I can go to a ball someday.
You will, my heart. When you're old enough.
With a prince or a king.
Thank you for the saurian brandy.
On our world, it's simply known as brandy, Mr. Kaart.
Of course. 2320. What do you want?
You're the one about to ask for something.
And in your culture, the one who is requested proffers the gift.
It softens demands. Very good.
No Federation president has ever proposed measures that affect educational policies on every member world. This is uncharted territory for all of us.
And perhaps that is why it is failing so spectacularly.
It's a real raptor's nest. Beg pardon.
The truth doesn't offend me. You need 2/3 of the voting body to pass your Reform Act. You need our votes.
I need 500,000 more votes than I've got. If I have the Surian bloc...
Then the Booleans, Zakdorn, Deltans, and dozens more will follow. You hope.
That's the theory. Your people balance logic and emotion perfectly. People don't want holograms teaching their kids. No exceptions. It scares them.
Vreed. Logic is on your side.
Then why won't the Surian...
Because, as you said, we balance our logic with emotion. You need to appeal to people's emotions.
The Betazoids have refused to meet with anyone in the administration.
Don't seek an audience with them. They're obstinate. My people know this. We've been convinced to oppose the act by the Bolians.
The Bolians want Habrim Nalidi for president. I can't talk to them.
Perhaps not, but you already have on board someone who can speak on your behalf, and, as with any Bolian, would do so gladly.
Yes. Yes. Aha! Oh, no.
Throwing out paper used to be a crime, Mr. Broddick.
It's soy paper, and I have every intention of recycling it. Now, if I could only avoid doing the same with my writing.
Hit a wall, have you?
President Vindenpawl is an original thinker. She deserves nothing less than unique. I promise I will have it finished before the deadline.
I'm not here about the speech. The President needs your help.
Of course, I would do anything.
You know Undersecretary Hiblis, correct?
We went to university together. How is he important?
You might be able to get him to convince the rest of the Bolians to vote for the education reform.
Mr. Kaart, the President would like you to come to her office.
I must go.
What happened, Mr. Kaart? Is the President okay?
Something's just come up.
Good evening, Madam President.
Gentlemen, report.
2 Reman ships absconded with 35 liters of trilithium compound from a Romulan starbase in the Romai system. Based on last recorded course heading, their probable destination is Zenkethi.
ETA?
2 days, 7 hours, 6 minutes.
The Romulans' response?
They have dispatched 1 warbird.
1? They're hoping to avert a war with 1 warbird?
It is possible the Romulans do not want to prevent a war.
Based on what intelligence, Admiral Selig? Have you been withholding information from me?
Of course not, Madam President. However, there is no intelligence that would indicate the Romulan Star Empire desires a conflict with the Zenkethi.
Find Magowan. She needs to talk to the Romulan ambassador now.
The Romulan ambassador will not be in a position to confirm or deny anything. A Reman representative will be needed to cajole him.
Do we know any Remans?
Of course.
Kaart, coordinate with the Admiral and Magowan. I want hourly updates.
Magowan's en route. Look, I know what you're thinking, but you can't go with her to that meeting.
And why is that?
If you're in the same room with a Romulan and a Reman, it will present many problems for us. Your enemies and your friends will have fodder and questions. You can't defend and answer at the same time and expect to look strong while doing it.
I won't let the security of the Federation be decided by 3 people sitting in a room when none of them are me.
I've never told you to do something you didn't want to do, but I'm telling you now. If you don't listen to me, we'll be ruined.
What do you want me to do?
I'm not asking for the galaxy here. Have dinner with your family.
Oh, if only you knew.
Drink? Let me guess. Blue juice?
Actually, I'm looking for someone. You see anybody who looks like me?
Sure, right over there.
Thank you. And yes, I will have a blue juice.
I'll bring it right over.
Dirks? Dirks, is that really you?
Oh, you remember!
Everybody, this is Dirks Broddick. We went to university together. He writes for President Vindenpawl.
Hi.
What the heck are you doing here?
Politics. Hope you don't mind that I sought you out for that.
Can't turn down good conversation.
Are you sure? Looks like your date wants to dance.
She's fine. Right, Precious? She always comes back. So what do you want to talk about?
Holographic teachers.
Your blue juice, sir.
Thank you.
You're going to need something a lot stronger than that if we're going to talk about holographic teachers.
Mother, does Aunt Karah want us to go home?
Sweetheart, nobody has ever known what she really wants.
I don't understand.
Your aunt is a very complicated person. Ever since she was a little girl, she... Come in. Mr. Ensi.
I'm here to escort you to the private dining room.
She agreed?
She agreed.
Come along, Fit. It looks like your aunt has a heart after all.
For all your criticism, you still love her, so why the acrimony?
We're related. I can love her and hate her at the same time.
You hate Aunt Karah?
Oh, I'm sorry, Vit. I disagree with her a lot. I don't hate her.
You don't want to be here, do you?
It's complicated. I'll explain it to you later, when I'm not embarrassing myself.
You're not, Mrs. Diora. I understand.
Maybe a little, but with my family, it's not always obvious what's going on.
President Vindenpawl has never been anything but completely honest with me.
Consider yourself lucky, Mr. Ensi.
Here we are. Enjoy your dinner.
Thank you.
If you'll follow me, please. The president should be here very soon. I was told to serve you first, however.
Of course. She has to make an entrance. We'll wait.
I'm thirsty. Can I at least have some water?
Just wait, Fit. Your aunt will be here in 5, 4, 3, 2...
My apologies. I was detained by official business.
Just long enough to guarantee a grand entrance.
Your dress is really beautiful, Madam President.
Oh, Vitorina. I am Aunt Karah here.
How very gracious of you.
I asked the chef to prepare seared dummock and poached heron.
I've never had domok or heron. Mother says they're expensive.
She is correct. It is expensive, but I can afford it.
You don't have to pay for anything when you're president, Fit.
Those who abide by their commitment through sacrifice and determination find that their effort pays for everything.
I see that sarcasm is also on the menu tonight.
We're not opposed to good ideas.
Then I don't understand.
You people aren't being taken seriously because Vindenpawl is merely serving out Saffron's term. Nobody thinks she'll be a viable candidate come the election.
They're wrong. To underestimate President Vindenpawl is to err on the side of folly and failure.
The projections indicate that Habram Naledi would beat Vindenpawl 2-1 if the election were held today. That's reality.
So you're open to good ideas, but only if they come from people who can get re-elected.
Have you heard Naledi's idea?
What's for dessert?
Why, whatever you'd like, little thing.
Sirista told me I had to try a human food called donuts.
Sirista?
A friend from school.
Ah, well, as I said, Vit, you can have a donut if you'd like.
With vanilla ice cream on top.
One wonders where a child gets such indulgent thoughts.
Says the woman who can't sleep under wrinkled sheets.
Vreed?
I apologize for the interruption, but I have some news for you, Madam President.
Oh, if you'll excuse me.
Hurry back!
Margaret has news so quickly?
No. Her meeting has only just now gotten underway. It's about the education reform, actually.
Gained or lost votes?
We lost all of our votes.
I see. What happened?
Habram Naledi. He convinced the planets with the lowest test scores to increase educational expenditures.
He'll bankrupt those planets.
Ardana will buy the financial debt of any planet that increases this spending by 100%.
Effort pays for everything.
I'm very sorry. I couldn't make it happen. I let you down.
Our reach exceeded our grasp. Lesson learned.
It won't be official, of course, until the assembly next month, which means we might be able to...
I've seen the projections, Freed. I know exactly what's going on here. Put this matter to rest and let's move on. The Romulans.
Magowan knows to call for you directly once the meeting is over.
I should be there.
You can't.
Yes, I know. I heard you.
Good night, Aunt Karah.
You're leaving? But what about your donut sundae?
Ice cream gives her nightmares. That's what parents do, stop their kids from eating sweets before bed.
And give hugs and kisses.
Good night, my heart.
Good night, Mom. Good night, Aunt Karah.
Sleep sound, little thing.
She adores you, you know, although I can't see why.
Perhaps she sees in me the ambition you lack.
It's not ambition, Karah. It's reckless abandonment. You don't get close to people. You use them, and then you leave them in the lurch.
Why do you insist on always playing these childish games?
Answer with a question. Classic. They should call you President Pivotpawl.
This is accomplishing nothing. You can't begin to understand.
Then why don't you tell me? I know that what you're doing here is greater than anything anyone could ever do on Vrijheid. But no matter what, you're still you.
Yes, and I'll never be capable of anything good in your eyes. Not unless I admit that I'm an awful person.
You're not awful. You're selfish.
You shut me out, Diora. Don't you dare pretend otherwise.
You didn't want any part of our life, not after you got away. You remember what we went through as children? You know how bad it was. You couldn't go back.
I remember the days without food, without a roof over our heads, the fear that any day terrorism would overrun our world.
And you crawled and scratched your way until you had everything we lacked.
While you sat by and did nothing.
Nothing but stand by my family.
I fought for our people. For you. I'm still fighting.
No, you're not. You've accepted your role, and you are the President of the Federation. The story's over. All that's left is the end.
Why did you come here? It wasn't to gloat. It wasn't to ask me for anything. Was it to make me feel guilty? Or angry or sad? Because I'm not any of those things.
I came because I thought I'd get to see my sister. But I was wrong. She's not here.
Stop it!
I was wrong to ignore you and turn my back on you. I got scared after Elvo died. Scared that your brutal honesty would reveal that I had wasted my life and that I was hopeless.
Being a mother is no waste, if you are willing to learn.
Where has that been, Karah? Why are you just a bitch now, and not the brutally honest sister I need?
I'm the same as I ever was.
After your little meeting with Kaart just now, you came back in here with a face I haven't seen since you stained my green pants. Remember that? You were so sure you wouldn't spill a drop.
I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it.
Looks like there's something else you need to prove to yourself now.
Gentlemen, there simply isn't any time for all this highfalutin posturing. Those ships are less than 2 days from Zenketh Prime.
Whatever happens, it will be on their head. The Zenkethi won't distinguish Reman from Romulan when they attack.
Which is precisely what the Remans want, yet they fail to realize that the end of Romulus is the end of Remus as well.
President Vindenpawl!
Please sit down, Margaret. Ambassador Molek and Representative Eonis can remain standing as they are about to leave.
Outrageous. What is the meaning of this?
I don't know anything about these rebels, Madam President. The Remans are committed to...
To strength, Representative. I know that. It's why I respect and recognize Reman sovereignty. You are not a reckless people. That's how I know you have nothing to do with this.
Blindly trusting a people who once conspired to obliterate Earth?
Enough, Molek. You are content to let the Remans destroy themselves because the Romulans fear them. And, of course, you arrogantly presume that the Federation will intercede should the Zenkethi engage in hostilities towards you.
No one wants another war, Madam President.
Wrong. The Zenkethi do. They want to flex their power just as much as the Reman rebels. As a girl, I would open a Noba juice stand every summer as a way to make spending money. But every summer, there'd always be another stand somewhere in my neighborhood. Rather than move to another location, I made it my goal to outsell that competing stand to the point that it would shut down. But every summer I'd have to yell a little bit louder to get the people's attention, or undersell the competition a little more, or even resort to other tactics to accomplish my goal. Then, 5 summers in, I analyzed the numbers and discovered that I never made a profit. The Novus stand was a losing enterprise. So I went to the competition and told them where I intended to set up my stand that summer. They thanked me for this information, because it meant they could finally turn a profit from their stand, too.
You are part Bolian.
A pointless tale, madam.
I'm not finished. The Zenkethi will go to war with Romulus unless we tell them exactly what is happening and give them every chance to demonstrate their power. Give these rebels up, and we will have peace.
The Zenkethi are thugs with warp drives and quantum torpedoes. They will not sit at a table to negotiate. They will not appreciate free intelligence.
They deserve to profit too. That is all. You may leave my ship now. Margaret, see to it they make it off the ship quickly and quietly.
Good meeting.
Lord Pil Iki and Lady Ba'oth of Zenkethi Prime with their son, Prince Raoul.
I'm impressed. She pulled it off.
She only knows how to be good.
Now, I present the President of the United Federation of Planets. Accompanied by her friend, Dora, do the reading first.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome.
You'll be expected to dance with Lord Pieliki, Madam President.
Oh no, that's unfortunate.
Margaret, I must decline.
I'll do it. I can actually dance.
I'm sorry, Diora. I'm afraid that wouldn't be appropriate. The Zenkethi would be mighty insulted. A lord can only dance with a lord.
They certainly have a lot of names for you around here. You know that?
As I recall, so do you.
There is another solution here.
Do tell.
Their lord is elected. Their prince is not.
A prince?
So, Admiral, how long does SFI think this truce with the Zenkethi will last?
That information is classified.
It is not difficult to figure out on my own, I suppose. The President coerces the Romulans into giving the Zenkethi data on the Riemann rebels. They appreciate the gesture. No Vindenpawl was behind it, and so they become amenable to diplomatic relations with the Federation.
That is one scenario.
There are other scenarios?
That information is classified.
Drink your ale.
Tam, this trip has been a dream come to life for Vit. Thank you.
Just doing my job.
Dancing with your boss's sister isn't in your job description.
It's definitely one of the perks.
May I cut in?
Madam Karah, Auntie Vindenpawl, President! Sorry, did you see me dancing? How did I look?
Like a princess.
Thank you kindly.
Veet, I want you to know, your mother and I are very different, my dear. When we were young, we were the best of friends. But our planet changed. It became a frightening place. There were some of us that fought hard for change, and there were others who made sacrifices. Your mother chose not to risk her life, or yours. I will always respect her for that.
Aunt Karah, do you think my mother would be angry if I told her I want to be a president just like you?
You do? I think she might have something to say about that.
Maybe I won't. She might miss me too much.
Yes, she would miss you terribly. Record Presidential Diary.
Commence recording.
Thank you, Mr. Morton.
Just doing my job, Madam President. I think you'll be especially pleased with the enhancements to the tomographic imaging scanner.
I'm sure I will.
I hope I didn't keep you from anything important during all this. Systems integration can often be a tricky process.
Not at all. Good day, sir.
Would you like to continue recording?
Yes. Stardate 61825.1. After meeting with the Zenkethi, I am convinced that a lasting peace is possible. Lord Piliki was struck by the ease with which I allowed Veet to dance with his son. End recording.
I'm sorry she couldn't make it.
I shouldn't be surprised.
Madam President!
I apologize for the delay.
One last grand entrance.
Will you come visit us someday?
As you know, I am rather busy.
You can do better than that, Karah.
It's okay. I understand.
We're ready to depart.
Come on, my heart. Time to go.
Okay. Bye.
Veet, wait. I'll see you this summer. We can set up a Nobis stand together.
Remember when I used to outsell you every summer?
Not this year.
Goodbye, Karah.
Goodbye, sister.
This episode also featured the vocal talents of Sheila Fliss as Diora Klorsk, Sarah Marks as Vitorina Klorsk, Jeff Jack as Tarpor, Mike Mahaffey as Dirks Broddick, Andy Kinnear as Ral Hiblis Ix, Joseph Cubis as Ambassador Moloch, Michael Liebman as Representative Jonas, Consuelo Sanchez as Alice, Anne Wiseman as Waitress, Cameron Burton as Maitre D', Andrew Kramer as Neil Morton, Will Foster as Computer Voice, Mark Painter as Shuttle Pilot, and Brandon Fife as Comm Voice. Theme by Daniel Chan. Music by Steve Gallant and Hetorin. Additional music by David Bell. Senior Editor and Audio Engineer Michael Hudson. Technical Advisor Jonathan Connor. Executive Producers Rob Caves and Andrew Foster. Federation 1 is a Hidden Frontier production.